Without a doubt, it was the animated Batman shows that made Batman the hero Gotham needed but didn't deserve. Although hailed as kids' shows, the episodes contained some bleak and disturbing imagery that seconded Batman's character and his dark origins. But what exactly made Batman the darkest knight there ever was? Batman stories were often a mix of tragic backstories, evil villains, and realistic overtones. From becoming exposed to Scarecrow's anti-fear gas and losing his mind to losing his memories, Batman has endured a lot but hasn't been the poster boy of righteousness. In this video, we will explore 5 of the darkest Batman episodes and the grimmest moments they contain. By the way, the last entry to this list explores Harley Quinn's origin story, and her relationship with Joker. Let's begin. Number 1. Joker's Favor, Batman the Animated Series Season 1 Episode 07.
You miserable little nobody! If I get caught, your wife and son are history!
The episode features Charlie Collins, a mild-mannered and unremarkable man who gets into the worst case of road rage. After having an unusually bad day and being pushed over by other drivers on the road, Charlie shouts at the driver of one of the cars, who happened to be the Clown Prince of Gotham. Naturally, Joker pursues Charlie and forces him into the woods, where Joker plans to kill Charlie, but the poor man begs for his life, and Joker agrees to spare Charlie if he promised to do him an undisclosed favor at a later point in time. With no other solution in sight, Charlie agrees but soon changes his name and moves to another city to escape Joker. 2 years later, he receives a call from Joker, who asks Charlie to carry out the promised favor. Poor Charlie fumbles in fear but is forced to go to Gotham, where he learns that he's to simply hold the door open for Harley Quinn when she enters with a large cake at an event hosted to felicitate Commissioner Gordon. Joker's unwilling accomplice agrees to do his bidding but manages to send out a crude bat signal, which gets noticed by Alfred and Batman. Batman arrives at the spot and saves Gordon and the others who were immobilized by a nerve gas that Joker had released in the room. In the end, Batman outsmarts Joker's henchman and Harley, but Joker escapes and bumps into Charlie, who belts the Clown Prince in the guts. Joker threatens to kill Charlie's family, but is taken aback when Charlie pulls one of Joker's bombs and reveals his intentions about a suicide to end the Joker menace once and for all. The tables had turned, and Joker was now screaming Batman's name for help. In the end, it turned out that the bomb was a fake gag. Batman then arrests Joker while Charlie returns home to his family. This episode was especially dark because of several themes like stalking, blackmailing, and suicide. One doesn't really expect such stuff in a kid's cartoon, but then Batman and Joker wouldn't be themselves if they weren't grim and dark. Joker's Favor clearly defined that Joker may be crazy, but he's far from stupid. Also, this episode introduced Joker and Harley Quinn, the latter of whom was specially created for the show and is now hailed as one of the best villains in the DC universe. Number 2. The Forgotten Batman the Animated Series Season 1 Episode 23.
What are you babbling about? What bad?
Right here.
There it is! Batman!
The Priest of Dock Street rescue mission tells Bruce Wayne that off late, many homeless persons of Gotham are disappearing, but even the police are not taking cognizance of the situation because kidnapped homeless are not entirely a priority amongst other crimes. Naturally, Bruce decides to take a look into the matter and dresses up as an old vagrant and drives a low-end car to Old Bowery Wharf to look inconspicuous. There he is attacked by 2 thugs, whom he subdues, but a third one attacks on his head from behind. Later, Bruce wakes up in a shack and in chains. He meets Salvo Smith and Dan Riley, who ask Bruce his name, but Bruce has no memory of his past, including his name. It turns out that Bruce and the others were abducted by the henchmen of a man named Biggest so that they could serve as free bondage labor in a mine. Meanwhile, Alfred finds out that Master Wayne and his car are missing from Wayne Manor, so he activates the car's tracking device and begins to follow the trail. Back at the desert mine, Bruce has a nightmare about being pulled inside a mirror by Joker, only to be overwhelmed by a mob of poor people. It seems that Bruce's memories are coming back, but he's got a long way to go. Later, Smith blows a raspberry on Biggis, who asks his men to put him in a metal box that magnifies the heat from the desert sun. Bruce objects to this and attacks the thugs, and Riley comes to Bruce's aid. However, they both get overpowered and are put in the metal boxes. While talking to Riley, Bruce's memories get triggered when Riley mentions the word family. Bruce remembers everything, from the unfortunate murder of his parents to the fact that he is Batman, and the recollection boosts his physical and mental strength. Bruce breaks out of the box and escapes while Biggis's men follow him. To Bruce's luck, Alfred soon arrives in the Batwing, and things finally begin to work in Batman's favor. It wasn't before long that Bruce donned his bat suit and kicked some ass. This episode brought some real tension to the viewers simply because of the dark undertones of slavery and claustrophobia. I mean, had Bruce's memories never returned, more of the homeless Gothamites would have been forced into slave labor. Then there's the punishment that's doled out to people for trivial mistakes. These themes are fairly disturbing even for adults, let alone kids. Number 3. The Lion and the Unicorn, Batman the Animated Series Season 4 Episode 5. In this last episode of Batman the Animated Series, Alfred suddenly leaves Wayne Manor after receiving a phone call from one of his old acquaintances. Alfred leaves a note for Bruce in which he says that he's to look into a personal matter concerning his cousin. Once in London, Alfred waits for his so-called cousin Frederick, but is rather met by two strange men who said Frederick sent them. Sensing something fishy, Alfred leaves the place and makes a call to Bruce to explain the situation. However, the two men barge into Alfred's room and abduct him while Bruce hears everything over the phone. Batman immediately leaves for London with Robin and brings the sidekick up to speed about Alfred's past, revealing that the butler used to be an accomplished agent of the British Secret Service before joining the Waynes. Meanwhile, Alfred is taken to a castle that was actually a missile silo, and his abductor was none other than Red Claw. She had abducted Alfred and Frederick because they possessed the codes for the missile launch. She held the city to ransom and threatened that if she wasn't paid, she would blow London to the ground. However, to her dismay, Batman and Robin were not far behind. They reached the castle and disarmed Red Claw's thugs. What makes this episode a fairly disturbing one is Red Claw's use of methods like truth serum and torture. She not only mistreats two older men but also uses excessive force on them. And of course, holding an ancient city like London to ransom is another element that kids aren't really familiar with, or at least it's something so grave that they fail to comprehend its depth. I mean, there have been blockbuster films on the subject. Number 4. Never Fear New Batman Adventures, Season 1 Episode 4. Batman and Robin come across an older man swinging gleefully across skyscrapers. Batman soon catches up to him and has him arrested. The following day, Bruce reveals to Robin that the man had acrophobia or fear of heights. Furthermore, a rather calm and well-mannered employee named Seymour Grey breaks into Bruce's office and screams at Bruce, claiming that he's been an employee for years but was always afraid of voicing his opinion. Grey quits his job in front of Bruce, and to display his lack of fear, he kisses Bruce's assistant. Security dragged him out, but Bruce noticed Grey's wallet that had a card that said "Never Fear." Bruce follows the tracks and reaches a seminar where the guru claimed that he could relieve people of their fears. Bruce sneaked further into the establishment and came across a drawer filled with gas canisters. Scarecrow appeared from behind and knocked Bruce out, who later found himself in a zoo near the crocodile enclosure. Scarecrow appeared and exposed Bruce to the anti-fear gas. Bruce had changed. His fear of killing people and violence had vanished. He entered into the crocodile enclosure and killed them. Following this, Batman arrived at Wayne Manor and asked Tim to suit up before leaving to hunt down Scarecrow. Upon arriving at Scarecrow's hideout, Batman almost killed Guru, but Robin saved him. Scared that Batman would hurt someone, Robin used a grapple to subdue Batman, and himself left to deal with Scarecrow. But Robin got overpowered by the bad guys, and Batman arrived at the spot, hell-bent on killing everyone. However, Robin exposed Batman to the antidote of the anti-fear toxin. In the end, they both managed to save the day.
You were right.
Yeah, but it was kind of scary.
A little fear's a good thing.
Despite a happy ending, the episode was incredibly dark and discomforting because Batman had lost his conscience. What makes Batman the hero he is that he goes to great lengths to save lives, which extends to his enemies too. However, in Never Fear, he lost all sense of morality and held no qualms for violence. That's a reasonably tricky situation to be in if you're a bad guy. Number 5. Mad Love Season The New Batman Adventures 2 Episode 5.
Folks who just don't get the joke.
Joker's plan to kill Commissioner Gordon gets foiled by the Dark Knight, and a frustrated clown prince of crime goes back to his lair to plan his next move. Batman has been a relentless thorn in the garden of Joker's crimes, a thorn that he needs to remove immediately but cannot figure out how. While he brainstorms to come up with the next plan, a love-struck Harley Quinn tries to have a romantic time with Joker, but he gets annoyed and pushes her away. Harley walks down memory lane and recollects the first time she met her pudding, her lovely and lovable Jay before becoming Joker's sidekick. Harleen Quinzel was an ambitious psychiatrist who took an internship at Arkham Asylum, where she met with Joker and was awestruck forever. After 3 months of struggle, Harleen managed to get a session with Joker, and although she had studied him to learn his tricks, she wasn't prepared for the emotional garbage that Joker threw at her. He told her all about a fake father who beat her up and a mother that left him in his childhood. Harleen was not just infatuated, and she fell in love with him so much so that she blamed Batman for Joker's mental state, and his constant obsession to spread anarchy. Joker then escaped prison but was brought back injured by Batman, and Harleen couldn't take it anymore. She transformed into Harley Quinn to break Joker out of Arkham. Realizing that Batman is still the cause of distance between her and Joker, she hatched an elaborate plan to catch Batman and succeeded. However, Batman tricked her into believing that Joker would never believe her and provoked her into calling Joker over.
I don't think I like it! Cut it out! You're giving me the creeps!
He arrived but was furious because he believed that only he could kill Batman, and Harley had taken that away from him. An enraged Joker threw her out of the window, injuring her gravely. Yet, a deceptive Joker made a failed attempt to kill Batman, only to be thrown into a smokestack by Batman. Back at Arkham, Harley almost realizes what a manipulative and scheming evil Joker had been but drops the thought when she notices a get-well-soon
Angel!
That was all in this video, and if you wish to discover more of these, please like and subscribe. It may be a tiny click from you, but we will be forever grateful.